Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, I am delighted to share with you the next chapter in the extraordinary love story of James and Lizzie Diep. A story that continues to unfold with deep emotions, unexpected choices and a powerful message about the true meaning of love. In the final episode, despite the chaos that has engulfed their lives, and the threats from John, James quietly throws Diep a very touching birthday party. It is not extravagant or staged to attract attention. Instead, it is a warm, sincere and caring gathering. For the first time in her life, Diep feels the meaning of a real birthday, not just a date on the calendar, but a moment when love, presence and family come together to embrace her. The return of her mother-in-law and young son, after many years of painful separation, makes that day sacred. At the simple dining table, she finally felt what had been long lost, the warm presence of belonging. But James did not stop there. The next morning, as dawn broke over the quiet countryside where they were temporarily hiding from John's pursuit, James gently took Diep's hand and led her to a quiet breakfast. Through gentle stories and affectionate smiles, Diep had no idea that a life-changing surprise was waiting just beyond the city's edge. He drove her to a small, newly built villa in a quiet suburb. Surrounded by a white picket fence and a blooming rose garden, the villa exuded warmth, like a promise of a family home. Parked outside was a brand-new car, registered to Diep. James turned to her, his voice calm but determined. "I know we can't go home, not until John is gone. But I don't want you and our son to continue living in someone else's house, even if it's my uncle's. This house is ours. A place where you can be free. And the car, so you never have to rely on anyone again." But to Diep's surprise, she didn't smile. She stood still, her eyes sad. "I don't know if I deserve this," she whispered, her voice almost inaudible. "I never dreamed of such things. I just wanted to be safe." "This is too much." James paused. He had spent weeks planning this, believing it was the right thing to do. But in her words, he heard something deeper, fear, not joy. And then she spoke the words that changed everything. "I didn't come to you for the house or the car. I came for you. I don't need anything more than you, me, and our child. I'm afraid these gifts will drive a wedge between us." In that moment, James understood. In his attempt to provide security, he had almost missed the core of what Diep needed most, presence rather than provision. "Not wealth, but peace. Not wealth, but love. Then we won't keep them," James said, gently taking her hand. "They're not important. You're important. Our family is important." That night, under the quiet streetlights, they made a decision that would change not only their lives, but the lives of many others. Instead of keeping material gifts, they would sell everything, villas, cars, and use the money to help those in need. James donated his personal savings and a portion of his company's profits to the fund. What started as a gift to a woman has turned into a charitable movement. Diep shared her childhood dream, to build a home for orphans. Not just to provide them with food and shelter, but to teach them love, self-respect, and hope. Soon after, they drove into a remote mountainous area. Through the car window, Diep saw familiar scenes of poverty, barefoot children, rusty tin roofs, dilapidated school buildings. She had lived this life before. But this time, she returned not as a victim, but as a light. They built a small school, painted bright yellow, filled with new desks and chairs, a library full of books and colorful school supplies. Children who had never owned a book held crayons and comic books, eyes wide with joy. And that was not all. They distributed food, medicine, and emergency funds to dozens of struggling families. An old woman held Yi's hand tightly, whispering a tearful thank you. A mother, holding her malnourished child, received a hospital bill from James, her face filled with faith and hope. That night, back at the small rented house, Yi sat by the window. She looked at the school they had built, glimmering in the darkness like a promise. She smiled, not the smile of someone who had received, but of someone who had finally become. Thank you for understanding me, she said to James. Today is one of the happiest days of my life. He took her hand and replied, and I promise, this is just the beginning. From that moment on, James and Diep chose a new way of living, not by what they owned, but by what they gave. In a world often clouded by self-interest and greed, their quiet acts of kindness became a powerful reminder. You don't have to be rich to make a difference. All you need is a heart willing to give and the courage to walk with someone in their darkest hour. They are proof that good people still exist. That love, true love, is not about diamonds or deeds, but about deeds, empathy, and a shared belief in healing the world, one little bit at a time. And for anyone listening today, maybe that light can start with you.